I failed my test 6 times.
I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome. It's one of those things like everyone's always like, "Oh man, I failed." I'm like, "Look, it doesn't matter because once you get that license, once you get that number and you're good to go, whatever they taught you in school doesn't even matter." I mean,
Yep.
it matters, right?
Right.
But it doesn't matter, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't know definitions that they taught us. We don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But so the when you first got started into
Mhm.
real estate, were you still doing the bartending on the side?
Yep.
And then you've had and it's funny because I always typically ask, like, why real estate, right? And I'm always curious of like, what made you get into it? And for you, you were just looking, right, for a job or any job, right? Just to
Yeah.
try something new. And it seems like that's what you've done throughout your whole life, right? Is I'm always searching, looking, what do I want to do? And um, it's funny because I think bartenders, waitresses, waiters, you guys already have half of the gift that you need, and that's to be able to
Yep.
connect with complete strangers and build that instant relationship, right?
Yep.
Make them feel comfortable. And the hard part, though, and is when you guys watch this Denise's story on here, I always say the hard part is overcoming that lifestyle
Yep.
and the late nights
Yep.
go into the early mornings, which then means you're sleeping in, which means you're not, focusing on the real estate stuff. But
Yep.
it sounds like you had more of a structured 9 to whatever admin spot to start. So you're taking on more roles, right? And then you go to take your test. Walk me through
Yeah.
this. Walk me through the mindset because I think this is important, right? Like, because the real estate test is challenging, right? Because no one
Yep.
knows exactly what's going to be on it. Like, we have an idea, right? But every test is different. And I know a lot of people, like I know people right now that are going through it, and if they've taken it several times. What was the mindset behind it, and what made you want to keep going and keep trying?
So I think I was in the industry per se for about a year, year and a half before I started school. And I had to do at the time, I was working full time in the office, I was working part time at the bar, and then part time school. And it was like 12 weeks long, I think. And it was every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So, and then every other day, every other evening, I was bartending, so it was a lot, but I just kept my eye on the prize and I knew I felt like I could be very successful in this career. And I knew that, once I got to that point, that all the other stuff wouldn't matter. I'd be able to let the bartending go and
Yeah.
I'd be able to, just do this full time. Um, but what threw me off when I was testing, I think honestly, was the amount of time I was in the industry because I just kept trying to relate everything on the test to something I had experienced.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was in my head too much, I think. So,
Backwards.
yeah.
You,
Um,
it's so funny. We have so many similarities. I don't even know it because I don't know your full story, right?
yeah, yeah.
But we have so many similarities. Like, same thing, right? Like, I graduated from college, was my team lead's admin, who I'm still with.
Hmm.
He paid me weekly to do that stuff. I did classes during the summer on the weekends from 8 to 5:30 every single weekend the whole summer, which was sucked.
Yeah.
That means no fun on the
Yep.
weekends. And then, but it was the same thing. See, but I think what helped me though was understanding a little bit more from being in the real estate. Now, I
Yep.
was I was only in at that point 3-4 months before I started classes where you had a year and you actually saw how real estate operated and what went down and the realness of our industry as opposed to here's what you need to know to pass the test.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot, but and so like I slowly, very slowly transitioned probably over the course of about 2 years. So 2017 was my first year licensed in January. And I was still full time as an admin. And then my second year was 2018, and I doubled my production, and I was still full time at the um, as the admin, but I was slowly making my way throughout the course of that year away from the admin role.
Yeah.
And then 2019, I was totally full time as an agent. I would help out at the front desk here and there if, they really needed it, but
Right.
and then 4 months into 2019, I like pulled the trigger and went out on my own, and I left the team and went out as an independent agent. And that was it's not for everybody. I'm not trying to like encourage everyone to do this because it really isn't for everybody.
Right.
But it was the best decision for me.
Yeah.
Um, the At the time, my boss liked everyone to be in the office, you know, at 5 to 6, maybe even more days a week if you wanted to. And, she was just a very I see it now. Why?
Right.
Like because you
Right.
have to have that structure. But the office life just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
That 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, or and every other Saturday, like it just I didn't like it. So I wanted a little bit more freedom. But I think honestly, probably last year, maybe, yeah, somewhere in there, like right when we started the whole clubhouse thing, that is really what helped me really stay structured and have a routine and a schedule, because I told myself I was going to be, up and ready to go by 8 a.m. every day, Monday
Yeah.
through Friday. And um, it's definitely hard, that aspect of it, because, everyone gets into this, I feel like, wanting the freedom. They don't like working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, but the reality is, like, you kinda have to still, like,
Yeah.
you gotta have that structure, otherwise it's easy to lose it. You
Yeah.
start waking up late, and, with the bartending, I think my last time bartending was St. Patty's Day of last year. So, like, I was still doing it last year. Um, but even if it was just one shift, it would throw my schedule off for like the next 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
because I'm sleeping and then trying to get back on my schedule. And so I eventually pulled the plug on it. And you're so right when you said, people in that industry are, I think typically very successful in real estate.
Yeah.
I always tell people who are still in it, I'm like, just pull the plug, like pull the trigger, quit the bar.
Well, it's the thing of like, you guys got to fight in that industry. It's the fast money versus the long-term money, right?
Yep.
Like I can, and it's more of a mindset, and that's why I say it's a lifestyle, but it's really more the like I know I can pick up a shift and make $100, or I know I can pick up a shift and make $200, or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is like what you just said, right? Like the last time I did it, it set me back 2 or 3 days because now I just threw my whole daily, sleep schedule off and all that other stuff. And now you're behind. And then that's what snowballs everything. And then, like you mentioned, and I don't think a team's for everyone. And I don't think being a solo agent is for
Yep.
everyone either. And I think like you said, most people get into the business because they typically want, one of three things. They want more money, right, than their other job or other career. They want more time available, right, or they want more flexibility within their day.
Yeah.
But you can have those things, but you have to be strategic with that. You can have all of them if you want it, but you have to be strategic and create leverage. But the most successful people in our business, they wake up and they tell themselves what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And most people that come from a different career are tired of being told what to do, when to do, and how to do, right?
Yep.
And it's just funny that you brought that up, and it's great that you realize that a team in the 9 to 5, and if you're on a team, you don't have to be 9 to 5, right? But that just wasn't working or going to work with you long term.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I well, and I loved too being able to like brand myself,
Yeah. The
you
creative,
know.
right? Going back to the creative.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just it, and that's I love it. Like, and it's what I get feedback on constantly from people. They're like, "Oh my God, you're doing so good. Like, I love seeing you on social media." Like, and it like fuels me
Did
almost,
you have any of that growing up? Like, were you artsy or like anything like that?
I was definitely like more into the artsy stuff, I think, than other people. I wasn't like super artsy, but there's definitely I always like was crafting like that whole aspect.
Yeah. My
And
brain
that's
doesn't work that way. Like, I saw that, was it a reel or a TikTok today where you're like stab the apple with the fork and they're like the transitions and like all that other stuff. Like that's like I don't even think about that. Right? Like I don't like,
Well, listen, I actually stabbed that apple. There was no transition.
oh, there wasn't.
No, I threw
Oh,
it up and stabbed it.
all right. Well, if you guys go on, it's on your Instagram, right?
It's on Instagram and TikTok, and I put it on Facebook.
Right, well, go find Lindsay on the social platforms and, go back, a couple weeks or so and find this because by the time you watch it, it might be a couple weeks ago, but
Yeah,
go find that video because it was skilled because I thought you transitioned it. So
so did everybody.
the fact that you didn't is even better. So,
I got so many phone calls from people today about that. They're like, "Wait, did you really do that?" And I'm like, "Yes."
and that's what you want, right? In real estate, that's what you want, right? Someone reaching out to you, anyone reaching out to you because of that stuff. But I
Yep.
wanted to get